and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you, and I honestly don't know what I'm gonna actually end up calling this speed build, but like right now I'm thinking maybe like Gothic apartment, and if that is what it is called, like I mean I feel like I'm using the word Gothic loosely here. That's just kind of the best way for me to describe it without being fully Gothic, if that makes sense. Like, we have some of the aspects of being in that Gothic interior design aesthetic in terms of like having some rich colors, and I feel like I include a lot of textures, but I don't feel like I'm like fully in the Gothic design, if that makes sense. Honestly, what happened is I just wanted to use that floral wallpaper, so that's what we're gonna do, and it just kind of turned into something that kind of looks Gothic. Like, I've actually done a like full like went totally in on the Gothic vibe and style, and I love that build, and I just don't feel like this is quite the same. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Just know that, like, I know if that's what I end up calling it, it is not perfectly Gothic, but I just really wanted to use that wallpaper, and I feel like it's one of those, like, the colors in that wallpaper can make it kind of difficult to use, if that makes sense. But I love that wallpaper. Like, I feel like that detail is so fun and is such a pop of color in a room. And it really took me a little while to find, I guess, the identity of really what I wanted this look to be. And you can see I was just messing around with the counters a little bit, and basically I had those like two rounded counter pieces kind of next to each other, but it wouldn't let me put a chair in the middle. So what I ended up doing was actually taking a third counter piece and attaching the chair to it, and then just shrinking that counter piece and kind of putting it where I want it, so your sim will like still sit there. It's just technically not attached to one of those counters, but like your sim should act like that counter that I sized down is still there. I know that sounds like kind of weird, but I just like without that chair in the middle, it just looked really weird. I don't know, I just felt like something was like seriously missing. And you can see I mess a lot with like the wallpapers, and I think I do end up swapping it out, maybe like that like purplish one that I had, because I think I even end up changing out those bar chairs as well, because there is like a nice like kind of darker lavendery kind of purple in that wallpaper, and trying to match it was a little bit difficult because in the game we have that like really dark purple swatch, which is a lovely like purple, but it just didn't quite match the purple that was in that wallpaper. And I also was struggling a little bit with having the dining room table over there. That's originally what I was thinking, but I actually end up just not including a dining room table. I know that's kind of an interesting decision, but I don't know, like I just wasn't like feeling it, I guess. And I end up putting like a really nice like living area over here, as well as a like small desk in the corner and a nice little fireplace, like reading nook kind of area. So there's still plenty of like space for your Sims to sit. And I'm thinking that this is honestly a 2 or 3 person apartment anyways. So like the 3 bar stools we have in the kitchen should work just fine unless you have people over. But like if you have a bunch of Sims over anyway, they probably wouldn't fit at the say at the Gothic table. Oh my gosh, at the dining room table anyways. So I figured that it's okay, and I think I end up using several things from the paranormal like stuff pack because it kind of like matches in this way. And I do swap out these pieces of furniture because, like I said here at the beginning, especially that purple, I was just struggling a bit with it. Like, I ended up trying to see what it looked like and like to see if I really liked it, and I didn't. So I ended up swapping it out, and I actually ended up swapping out this rug as well, which I think helped a lot. I swapped it out for the paranormal like rug, and it's in the white swatches, which you'll see a little bit later on. And I didn't want to go like into using just like a bunch of black everywhere. Like, I really wanted it to still be kind of a fun apartment. Like, I don't know, would this be like a pastel goth? Is that a thing? I don't know. Like, I really, like, I feel like I need just a grand list of interior design styles, and like there's a lot of them that I do want to try. Like, I'm sure there is some sort of like Gothic design that this is part of. I just have no idea what that would be, if that makes sense. Like, there's so many spin-offs, I feel like, of really like popular styles, and I just don't know what they all are. But like, especially when I did Gothic the first time, I had to do some research in terms of like really what that meant, because I feel like when people think of Gothic, it really is just like everything's black, like everything's just super intense and like dark. And I don't know, at least for me, I feel like some people it's just like, you know, skulls and like things like that. And I don't like, but that's not technically what I think the interior design style Gothic really is. It's more about like having those darker colors, but a lot of it being like really rich gem colors, like sapphire, ruby, like those really beautiful rich colors, and having a lot of different types of fabrics and like tassels and just like really luxurious fabrics, if that makes sense, versus it being just like skulls and everything's black kind of thing, which is, I don't know, like, would you still consider that Gothic, or is that something a little bit different? Like, it's not even technically grunge either, because I've done like a grunge apartment as well, and honestly, I have a lot of fun doing a little bit of research on different interior design styles. Like, I am not trained as an interior designer or anything like that. I feel like in another life I would be one, like, because I was really interested in being one, like in high school, and like I even took a class and everything, and I really enjoyed it. I loved watching all of the like shows like on HGTVs, like the Home Network, like all that stuff. Like, I loved looking at that. And honestly, like, if I had infinite money, I would probably be redoing my own home constantly, like all of the time. Like, I think I did that a lot too when I was a kid. Like, I remember wanting to swap around my bedroom a lot, and like it would be so random. I went through a phase of like a bunch of blue, and then I do remember that there was like a rainbow period of time in like, I think I was in high school. I ended up with I kid you not, a rainbow furry like duvet comforter. Like, what? But like but I guess it makes sense. Like, if you see my office now, there's just so much color. I guess it really does make sense. But like, the rest of my house doesn't look like that now. But I just think it's kind of funny looking back. Like, it literally was like furry and rainbow. Like, not with rainbows on it, but just like all of the colors. And I even had like a bright orange end table by my bed, and like a bright orange desk, like glossy bright orange. Like, oh my goodness. Like, it was, I mean, I really went through some different styles when I was growing up. like I would see something and I always want to redo it. I went through a period of time too where I wanted like one of those really low like platform beds too. I never did get one of those. That did not happen. But I also went through the period of time where we had like the bed that was basically on stilts. It was really tall. Anyways, I don't know why I'm talking so much about my childhood bedrooms, but like, I don't know. Anyways, I just like, oh yeah, I was talking about being an interior designer. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, like I really enjoy that kind of stuff, but like I'm not classically trained or anything. But, and on that note too, like if there are styles that you want me to try or look into, I would be happy to do so, because I am sure that you all know like plenty more different interior design styles than like I do. So like if you want to see me like try to do one, you know, let me know. Suggest those down below. I do try to write all of your suggestions down and get to those like once I feel like inspired, like I could really do that build, if that makes sense. And like I said, for this one, I just saw that wallpaper and said I want to use it. So like that's what happened. We're just gonna do that. I do know that I think I'm gonna try sometime this week maybe to do a family starter home. I believe that is on my to-do list, so long as I feel like I can deal with the budget. Because those of you who've been around for a little while know that I don't do budgets very well. Like, at least in The Sims, I don't know, I just like to do all of the things. And I feel like I've talked over a bunch of this build and not even been talking about it. So I apologize for that. But this is going to be, I was envisioning like a teen's bedroom, and like I went in with like that really beautiful black and purple that came with the high school years pack, like, and just using basically a lot of stuff from that pack, I think, because it works so well together. And I was honestly thinking that this was maybe like a streamer or something, because it has that really good computer. And I even like on the wall, like across from the desk, I end up putting some lights on it and like a logo. Like I imagine it being like a really cool LED like logo of like, I don't know, their Twitch name or something, and just putting up like basically making it look really nice in the background, like what would your viewers see kind of thing. And I think it turned out really cute. I actually love this a lot. And I feel like, I don't know, like maybe like before I did more research into Gothic, maybe this is more of what I thought of when I just would randomly think of Gothic, if that makes sense. And I just thought it was so fun. Like I think it matches the like vibe of this apartment without it being like too adult looking. Like it still looks like a teenager would live here. And I end up putting a bunch of those star string lights everywhere. And I even put in like a small, like that big, I say small and then I say big, the marble like table thing. I think that came with the dine out. I think that came with the dine out pack, and I end up putting like a bunch of stuff on it. Like I'm thinking like different makeup, jewelry things, like if they were getting ready. I don't know. I always liked that idea. I feel like, at least like when I was younger, I had so many like necklaces, earrings. I had so many things, like so much. And now I like, you know, with makeup, like I guess you're just trying to figure out like, you know what I mean? Like that's a time when you're experimenting and trying to figure out like what your style is. And so you have just, I feel like a bunch of things, at least I did. So I kind of just made a really cluttered space, just a bunch of stuff, like all of the things. Cause I don't know. I just feel like a lot of times kids' bedrooms or teen bedrooms are just like, they just have a bunch of stuff. So, and again, that's kind of based off of my own experience, but like, let me know, was that, you know, your life? Were you like, did you have a lot of things everywhere? And I don't necessarily mean like messy either. You know what I mean? Just like, I feel like you have a lot of things and you have I feel like you go through a lot of interests and all that kind of good stuff. And I'm not going to lie either. This bathroom was so difficult for me because of that window, and you can't move the windows when you're doing apartments in The Sims. So like, I just had to figure out how to make it work, but we got there, especially since like I had an issue that door. I didn't want to put it all the way in the corner because that's where the big mirror is, and like swapping stuff around, but we figured it out. I just kind of like scooted the door over a little bit, and I think it worked out really nicely. And I ended up using the Void Critter, like the blue, purpley, black swatch. I don't know what the names of them are, but the stuff that came with the bathroom clutter, and used that in here because I figured, to me, it kind of reminds me of maybe like that like gamer kind of vibe, like streamer kind of thing. I don't know. At least that's what I was channeling for this room anyways. You know what I mean? And this being the parents' bedroom, again, like 1, 2 parents, I don't know. It could be an older sibling and like a younger sibling. I mean, I have no idea. This could be roommates if you wanted it to be. And this is already up on the Sims 4 gallery if you want to download it. And it's under my ID, Spice and Sprinkles, all one word, all lowercase, and down in the description if you want to see it written out. And so for this bedroom, I was thinking it matched a little more of what the rest of the apartment looked like, you know what I mean? Like the person that lived here, especially if you're talking about like parents and a kid, that like they're the ones that probably decorated the rest of the home, like, so it would be kind of their style. So I like to kind of bring that into like the bedroom here. And I kept it, again, like I didn't want a bunch of clutter, but I just wanted it to have like nice fabrics. Like we have that like fur, the drapery, and that kind of thing in here. And I actually ended up using the Get Famous closet stuff, which I feel like I never used, but I kind of liked it. It kind of had those really pretty ornate details that I felt like kind of went with this space, and had that really nice like white, gray, black swatch, which again, I felt like melded really well. And like, and I wasn't thinking like vampire for this either. So I was looking at some of the vampire artwork, but like not all of it really matched, you know what I mean? I didn't want like Vlad, a huge portrait of Vlad on the wall. Like that wasn't exactly what we were going for. But in this bathroom, I do end up using that really pretty like werewolf mirror. I just thought that looked so lovely. It had little purple stones in it, so I felt like that matched super well. And like I end up, you can't get to the left cabinet, but like your sim doesn't really need to. They just need to be able to get the sink, and this has been play tested, so your sim shouldn't have any issues if you download it and want to use it. And of course, you know, change it however you see fit for your own gameplay. But if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye everybody.
I would do anything at all. No, I'm not innocent. You deserve a better man. But let me just hold your hand once more. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I wanna take you out. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Show you what I'm all about. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Make up for what we lost. Tonight is the night that we're gonna fall in love. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin, 'cause we're still sleeping in my head. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your